I'd like to ask us all to stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, Republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. There is a public comment sign-in sheet. All right. Charlie, when you're done with that, do you mind bringing it over? Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
All right. First, Jack, you are first. Would you like to go before or after the meeting? Would you like to go at the Yep. Would you like to go at the beginning?
Oh, is he okay?
Somebody.
Oh, he's just caught up, yeah. Tricky thing.
What I want to talk about is the way I was treated when I was building my garage. I had the garage empty, tore down, foundation in, the walls and the floor. The concrete part was done.
Okay.
And then your ex-manager come up and told me I had to take everything off my property from out of my old garage. And I come in and told council that I had a permit.
Okay.
And didn't mean nothing.
Can I ask how long ago it was?
We don't care how long ago it was done to me.
I completely understand what you're telling me.
And finally, near the end of September, my son broke a leg trying to catch up because we had so much program for that year, for that garage to be so much done. And he broke a leg. Now, I only have one job instead of two. So, I end up talking to not one, not two, but three lawyers, of which Caldwell was the last one. And I told them what I had to do. And each one of them, individually, asked me if I had a permit. And when I said yes, two of them said, "What's his problem?" That's one of the three. And number two says, "Where's his brains?" That's his problem.
Okay. Well.
And nothing was ever done. He actually owes my son $155,000 for put a rod in his leg, ambulance, lost this and that, and he owes me.
Well, I appreciate you bringing that to us.
He can't do nothing about it. That's why I walked out of here the last time I was here.
Okay.
So now, that's the way I was treated, and I was also a veteran.
Well, I appreciate your service, sir.
That's what I served my country for, is not to get treated like crap, like this room did to me. Because when I told them I had a permit.
Okay. I made notes, and I appreciate you bringing that to us. Thank you, sir.
And I've never been able to talk to you people and have you acknowledge that I ever said anything.
We hear you right now, sir.
Yeah. Like that wall, like that door does right there, only it'll open.
Oh, thank you for your comment, sir. Next, Aaron, do you have, okay. Charlie? Not at this time? Okay. All right, so, all right, next on the agenda is last month's minutes. I assume everybody got it in their packet from Rod. I need a motion to accept.
Ask if there's any amendments, additions, deletions, edits.
Do we need a motion in order to accept it first and then have discussion?
You can do it that way if you want.
Thank you. I need a motion to accept the minutes as presented by Rod in our packets.
I'll make the motion.
All right.
I'll second it.
Minutes, John and John. Sorry, I'm doing double duty right now. I'm doing president and secretary, so. All right. Any discussion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Accepted. All right. Next on the agenda is the update on the bandstand project for the committee members. I wasn't informed in who's going to be presenting. Bill, is that you? All right.
Look, just a second, Bill. Charlie, you have something to go after too, right? Okay, fair enough. We'd like to hear both of you. No, that's all. I just
Both of us?
one after the other, preferably, but
Okay, well, I'm here on the community committee for the bandstand. We have, I represent the committee, I don't represent myself. I'm the Troy Historical Society seat on the community committee for the bandstand. Bringing you an update on the partnership between the borough and the community committee. We have a number of people here from our organizations and from the actual community committee for the bandstand. First, the news is really good. The project is on schedule. We enjoy support from the Borough Council and the Bradford County Commissioners. Our fundraising is going very well. We believe our community is generous and expect no problems in meeting our needs. To fill in some gaps, and for those new to this partnership, I offer some background. The genesis for the project started way back during COVID, when the memorial services ran in the town triangle. During that time, with reflection, some issues were identified and discussions started on rallying the community for a joint solution. To that end, the community committee was born. The Lions Club, which over the decades has done so much for our town, including helping us to get Alcorn Park. The Rotary, which put dictionaries in the hands of young students and shines a light on our excelling graduates, and they do so much more. The Historical Society, who keeps our memories of our ancestors and the importance of what they've done from being forgotten, or worse, tarnished. The Chamber of Commerce, which brings our economic engine together to work for the good of our town's future. And of course, all of our veterans, from the American Legion, the Veterans of Foreign Wars, and the Sons of the Legion. They have pumped tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, over the years of support into our community. Support families of veterans, and they quietly provide military honors for brothers and sisters in final resting. With this kind of support behind our committee and project, we know people want to support our town. In today's update, I can report all of these organizations are in harmony. We are all in agreement. We are working together to a common goal, no dissension, ensuring the wide wishes of the community are realized. It is important to remember our veterans. This structure is the Troy Memorial Bandstand. We've had a lot of fun picking on people that call it a gazebo, kind of our way to show who is paying attention and who is not. But it is not a joke. This is the Troy Memorial Bandstand. At the end of World War I, a tribute to our people who died. It's no joke, and we should not disrespect our veterans. There are issues that have arisen recently that may have helped bring about our invitation tonight, so let me cover a few. First, nobody has been given the authority by the committee to come to you guys on the council and ask for more tax money. Nobody. The fundraising duties are tightly controlled and defined in the committee from the beginning of our creation. Each member of the committee is responsible for their own association. The Lion on the board is responsible for fundraising within the Lions. The Rotary member with the Rotary. Bonnie Seeley at the Chamber, the Historical Society with grants, like the County Commissioners. And of course, the veterans on the committee handle veterans of our town. Anything outside of these areas need discussion within the committee and agreement on assignment. Our most recent discussions are focused on crossover, where, for example, businesses in the chamber may also affiliate across our committee with the Lions or the Rotary Club. We don't want to double dip or harass unnecessarily with two solicitations. So we're working in the committee to decide who takes the approach on identified situations. Again, the goal is to avoid running around like a loose cannon or scrambling. The Historical Society had the duty and arranged a $15,000 grant from the County Commissioners. And we asked for that to be a matching grant to help us with our fundraising. It has helped, and the Historical Society reports we're above $40,000 so far, which is very good news. Sources like the Case Foundation and a couple other funding sources that from time to time reach into this area are in process. We've worked with the Case Foundation, and if the paperwork is done correctly, we can qualify for help. We've done it before. By the way, from the beginning, this is organized to run fundraising, donations, and grant writing through the 501c of the Historical Society, as to make this non-governmental community project for the benefit of the town. All members of the committee are equals. The committee agrees the role the society would play is the paperwork. We had some misunderstandings in Towanda with the funding. Commissioner Gates actually attended one of our meetings to explain in detail how the matching works and the limits of the funding available to us. We did not ask him to come. He felt it was important enough to come in on his own to smooth any misunderstandings. He used his phone to conference his clerk in Towanda to our entire committee. His clerk explained how the paperwork from the Historical Society has to come into that office and what needs to be included. And I have a copy of the letter from the Historical Society to the commissioners applying for the money through the Historical Society for this project, if anyone would like to see it. They approved this in a public meeting in April. Again, we have fulfilled the requirements for the committee to get those funds. So a few answers to some issues that came up last month at the council meeting. First, the borough does own the structure. The committee works under the guidance of Hunt Engineering to ensure all borough legal concerns on the ADA requirements, fairness in the bidding process, and other issues are covered. The bandstand, another point too, the bandstand does not meet any of the three usual pathways to declaration as a historic landmark. While located on Davison Green, it is not part of the H.P. Davison gifts to the town. If Davison were actually involved, his fame would help. The bandstand was built in coordination with the Davison Green project. We owe our gratitude to the Troy Engine for the land and the building. They built the prior bandstand in Troy out of wood, and this one was built to last. The committee was adamant that the only taxpayer money from the borough was for engineering, not a penny more. If any money is needed, we will raise it. Don't worry about the case money or any other money. We will apply, fundraise, and get it. We heard councilmen were nervous in the funding and concerned about hearing a rush for more tax money. No, not a penny. The borough was gracious enough to get us Mr. Rathman and Hunt Engineering to handle the bids, the plans, the compliance issues. Not a penny more. We can raise what we need. And Hunt does not just supply blueprints to look at. They do so much more than give us a blueprint. Mr. Rathman is known as pure quality. And we thank the council for getting him for us. There was a discussion about the ramp and ADA requirements. You had an interesting discussion of rise versus run and how many feet and inches and everything. Frankly, none of that matters. That's what Hunt Engineering is for. They will ensure everything is compliant. There was a discussion about why replacing the ramp is desirable. It's not because it's hard to use. The ramp is fine. It is, in fact, very easy to use. It's used almost every week. All summer by wheelchair people in our town. Martha Lloyd is a user from our own community, and they come over. The issue with the ramp is it blocks visibility and usability for the bandstand itself. It's in the way, and it's an eyesore. It limits the audience's experience by getting in the way. So the idea is to keep a ramp. It's a must. Make sure it is current ADA compliant. Get it out of the line of sight for the audience. There was a discussion about the steps. They are not granite decaying. They are concrete decaying. You should have a picture in your packet of the steps, and you can see by looking at it, that's concrete decaying. Okay, it's not granite decaying. We have a minimum of 8 local contractors that have expressed an interest in bidding. And there were more of them that wanted to bid, but in the time frame we're talking about, they're very busy. We have busy contractors in this town. With the organizations partnered together with the borough, both donors and contractors want to be involved with this. That information is in Hunt's hands to organize. The project has been broken into pieces to help get more local contractors that can handle parts of the project and some flexibility with implementation so we can stay on schedule. I think our success comes from the planning between the early committee members and the council. The council allocating money for engineering ensures the borough is protected from shortcuts, accusations of favoritism with contractor selection, liabilities from unsafe work or inexperienced workers. In return for the borough doing that, a promise that we would never come back for more money, not a penny. We would carry the ball on fundraising. The community is generous, and the committee is receiving the needed support. Same with the commissioners. They have helped. We do not need to revisit them for additional funds. Thank them. Don't pester them. They are here every year on the bandstand for memorial services. They are well aware of the seriousness of our committee and the borough commitment. We can do this. We are doing this. We are having good success. There is no panic or worry. This is a proud example of what can happen when our borough council and our organizations work together for the common good of everybody. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to respond, and we have other committee members here that could also respond if you would like to question.
Have you gotten estimates yet?
No.
Okay.
The latest round is going out for bid right now.
Okay.
We're in, I think the last number I heard is we're in the $60,000 to $70,000, maybe $80,000 for the way we have it currently spliced up. So we're
And you're
halfway
confident,
there.
you're confident you've got that funding? Okay.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you're on schedule. Do you have any kind of schedule you can?
Yeah, well,
I know it's tentative, but
the landing, this plane is going to land by Memorial Day. Okay. To give you some background, the committee began to come together in December, and I'm not sure if it was the December or the January member when the partnership was created between the Borough Council and the committee.
Okay.
We began the process almost immediately. We assigned the Historical Society the job to approach the county commissioners because we saw opportunity. It took till, in March, we received confirmation from them, and they actually voted the money for the committee in their April meeting, in their public meeting. Okay? We've had a lot of meetings. This project has gone from very, very big to slicing it down as we've realized some of the wishes from some of the people involved were pushing the numbers. Just, a $90,000 ramp was not going to be appropriate for our town. Okay, so we're slicing it in a more appropriate way, but it was always, given that our funding is coming in April, we were never going to make Memorial Day. So we used Memorial Day this last year is a great opportunity for publicity and to reach out to our people. We had a display set up for people to look at. We've gotten great feedback from that. They were able to interact with that. And the Historical Society was open. And so a lot of people came over from the memorial services to the Historical Society for more information. And we really received a lot of great feedback from what the community wants to see done. They don't necessarily want to know the details. Their eyes glaze over. But they really like the idea that Borough Council has taken an issue. They've partnered with members of the community, and the community is now running with it. And the town just loves it when we all work together. I mean, at this point, we're probably going to have some frost-free work done this fall, and then the goal is to put the rest of the pieces together leading up to Memorial Day.
Okay. So what work?
I'm sorry, what?
I'm sorry, what work this fall?
I
didn't hear them.
Before
that don't require frost issues. Yeah. Any other?
So for clarification, I for one, I'm the only one who voted no.
Thank you.
In support of this. So, and I just want to give you the reason behind that. I feel like
I think I heard you at the last meeting.
Everybody sitting
maybe
here.
you'll surprise me.
So it was brought to our attention that, y'all were looking for a certain amount of money. I understand it. I'm all for supporting the community 100%. My suggestion at the time was, why are the taxpayers taking the potential loss instead of the committee? Okay. And what I mean by saying that is, we were asked for $15,000 for engineering. We've all seen a lot of projects come and go where we, the taxpayers, have paid the tens of thousands of dollars to engineering, and the projects never get done.
Right.
They get filed. So here, the taxpayers are out the 15 grand. The guys and gals and community members, committees that are supposed to be raising the money are not out of pay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Other than the ones that are obviously, community members and residents in Troy Borough. So I said no, absolutely. I'll own up to that. But that was, my no was based on, let's not give our money up front.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be responsible with the taxpayers' money and give it on the backside. You guys get all your donations, you pay for the engineering fees. If for some reason all of the money can't be obtained, our 15 grand is on the backside to help. Mm-hmm. But in the end of the story, if you can't raise enough, even with our 15 grand, the taxpayers' money's not gone. Mm-hmm. It's money that's been, donated more or less.
I have to tell you, not that everybody else was important, but his voice was one of the most important voices that we've used in the committee. Not a penny more. And only for engineering. Not come back for the $15,000 for other things. We spent what? 4.5, 5,000?
4,200.
4,200. I hope it stays at 4,200, and none of that money is needed because we have hardworking people over here. We have great support, and we have said repeatedly, not a penny more. The commissioners are going to help. Not a penny more. If this is a good community and this is a good project, the community will support it. And if they don't support it, then it's not a good project. We all have faith that this is going to work. And you're exactly right. Now, how do you go out and raise donations if you can't point to anything? So when the Borough Council created a partnership with the community committee, they gave us the gravitas to go out and say, if you donate money, it's a project. It's got an engineering study. It's going to happen. And people have fallen in line. But if you didn't say, we won't stand behind it. If this fails, you're not coming back here. If you didn't say that, you don't get, it's like the matching. Commissioners could have given us $15,000. We asked that it's a matching grant. So we can go out on our fundraising and say, if you donate, you will help us get that money. So sometimes what looks like making the fundraising harder, it gets you more motivation. And that concern that somebody would run around and say, it doesn't matter if the community doesn't support it because we can get money somewhere else. No, what matters is the community support it. Because if they do, the money won't be a problem.
Right.
And you know that, and you've seen things follow up, and it's usually because the organization of the committee or the people is followed up. They don't have the backing behind them. You get somebody who can lead the way, but there's no followers. That's why from the very beginning, the Lions have to be here. The Rotary has to be here. Chamber has to be involved. You have to have the veterans. Not just the veterans, but their organizations have to back them. Because if you get that, the Borough Council has created a partnership with the entire town. How can anybody be against that? You know, you guys have done a wonderful thing. We're going to ride this thing together. It's going to be great. And the thing is, the community is responding. We have people are saying, who's involved? Start listing. Everybody's involved. I want to be part of it. Big contractors who really want to work on it. They're so busy. They're doing decks all over the place. They want to be here. And that will, I think that will help us with the bidding process. But we'll fundraise. And another thing, if the engineering ever got to be more than 15, which we never believed it would, we're going to raise some money for it. Our partnership is you're in for a certain amount, not a penny more. And these guys over here and gals, everybody here believes in what we're doing, whether they're a veteran and they stand up there. I mean, what we can't have is the American flag hoisted in the honor guard and the eagle on top hooked on an electrical wire. Okay? We got issues. They believe that these can be fixed easily with community support. If your whole town is going to get up and march, don't try to stop them. Climb on. Not a penny more. Thank you. We use that internally. We have fundraised. And it can't fail. You know, sometimes the one no vote is the one you listen to. Not that everybody else is important. But we have to handle all of the concerns. Otherwise, we've created a partnership. You guys created a partnership in December of last year. There's your partners. They're working hard for you. We're going to pat you on the back because you made all this possible. And we really appreciate it. And again, Mr. Rathbun is unbelievable. He's a great guy. He covers so many things for us. And it's not about the blueprints you're looking at. It's the bids, the bid bond, it's so much more. And he's a community guy, just like everybody else here. He's in for the community. So it's wonderful. And any other questions? Because I will keep talking. I am my favorite.
I was curious. It was observed by another that sometimes these things just die in engineering. I was curious if you could elaborate on what services Hunt Engineering is providing on a project of this magnitude.
First of all, I've worked with Darren on the school board for lots of projects, and I mean, so I have a history with that. And I'd say he is an excellent listener. He sucks up water like a fountain towel. And he listens to us, and he'll say, you might not want to dig that deep. You might not want to go that wide. And he guides in the direction. And what he does for our community is, he works for you. He keeps you guys safe. We're over there saying, we want to make a Tinker Toy set here. And he's like, we have to follow his requirements. When we say we want a big structure made out of lots of concrete, and he's like, it'd be cheaper. But we say that's what we want. We get a $90,000 quote for a ramp. But what he did is he put in the bidding process a deduct. Well, if you wanted to do it out of wood, what would the deduct be? And the deduct is like $70,000, $80,000. So we're sitting here saying, I guess that concrete thing wasn't a good idea. I mean, it sounded like a good idea because a concrete, I'll just use rough numbers. A concrete ramp could last 30 years. A ramp of wood could last 7. If the concrete ramp is so expensive that every 7 years you can build a brand new wood one, you probably shouldn't do it in concrete. You just build a new one every 7 years. That's really what ended up happening. Now, how do you know that until you get the current bid with the inflation we've had? So Hunt Engineering has walked us through this, what we call a waterfall process, where we're going through iterations of splitting and simplifying. First thing right off the bat is by making this a historical society project, you get rid of a lot of the governmental issues that are involved. This is a privately donated funding project. Taxpayer dollars are not going toward the project, only the engineering. And that's a reason we separated that. We're not going to take taxpayer dollars from the Borough of Troy and spend it on, otherwise you're going to have to start donating to every charity that comes along that wants to do something nice. So we wanted to separate it. And Hunt has done a great job, and they have never, we do not treat them like they work for us. They work for the borough. If they say it's ADA, it's ADA. If they say we've got to do something that we don't want to do, but you've got to do that for ADA, we're doing that. So what Hunt is doing for us in this process is really walking. I don't want to make fun of the Lions Club, the Rotary, the Chamber of Commerce. These aren't contractors and they're not engineers. So when they sit around the table and decide how they think something ought to work, you immediately say, no, 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 no. That's why I love your discussion on the ramp. How many rise and run, how many inches, how many feet per inch and everything. And I'm just sitting there saying, it's an interesting discussion. Doesn't matter. Hunt will fix it. Hunt will say, Hunt's on the line for it, and they'll make it certified. So, and again, Mr. Rathman goes above and beyond. I saw him working on the playground project for TIS, and he went so far above and beyond what was required for the engineering work for that. His heart is really in this town. And what you see over here, between the Chamber of Commerce and the Rotary and everybody, heart is in the town. And if you can rally those people, don't worry about trivial things like how to do the paperwork for the Case Foundation. This is a piece of cake. It's not hard. Anything else?
So curious, managing a project like this, it's not like baking a cake. Could you tell us about some of the project management experience of the members of this committee?
Okay. Well, in our organizing meeting at the very beginning, we shanghaied Lieutenant Colonel John Harrington.
Everyone does
to be
that.
the president. And kicking and screaming, he said, as long as I don't do any work, I can organize the meetings. He's a great organizer and has done a great deal of work. And one of the things that's happened when I said that we divvy up the responsibility for fundraising, so the Lions Club are getting ready to how are they going to do the fundraising. So they come back and reach to the committee and say, we need a PowerPoint, we need a presentation. So the Lion member doesn't have to do this, and the Rotary member, we have assets. And so a few of us would get together with our camera and screen, and we've done this over and over. I think the Lions had us 2 or 3 times, back to their organization. So we go around and, okay, back to your question. John's the president of the committee. No authority other than call meetings president. I'm the secretary. Okay? No authority other than note things. The Historical Society was deemed the 501c of record. Okay? So Lions Club asks, somebody writes a check. Who do you make it out to? Lions International? Probably not. And the answer is Troy Historical Society, Bandstand Committee, blah, blah, blah. And then the Historical Society sends out receipts, logs, and so forth to make sure people get the credit that they need. Okay? And I was identified as the project manager for the contractors. Contractors need to have a single point of contact for questions and management issues and so forth. I did that at the sale barn. I did that at the Historical Society project over there. So I have a lot of experience working with contractors. I can tell you funny stories about what it's like to deal with contractors when you have a nonprofit, where every third person walks by and says they're in charge. Don't do it that way, do it another way. So the other thing the Historical Society is able to do is the bidders would come in and say, we've got a lot of equipment. Can we put it on Davis and Green? No, put it in the parking lot of the Historical Society. And oh, by the way, you can use the bathrooms right across the street. So the community nature of this is we have leverage to be able to really support the actual work going on. So my job as kind of a field level project manager is to make sure that the issues that come up that need to go back to Hunt Engineering, questions on diagrams and things like that, I'm the liaison. I don't tell anybody what to do. I gather the information and get support for them. And based on the experience we had at the sale barn and at the Historical Society project, It is very important to have somebody who's dedicated as the person who gets the answers and resolves things. And that would be my role. As I said earlier, we identified right away that the funding problems need to reside within committees, associations. So the Lions Club, whatever they're doing, the Rotary, whatever they're doing, each individual member does it, and we don't cut into each other's place, except where we've identified a few members of the chamber that other people have a great rapport with. And we don't want to approach them separately and then have the chamber come around and approach them. And the last thing you want to do when somebody is giving you money is say anything but thank you. You never want to say, you got any more? Thank you, and move on. We've got a big enough community here. We don't need to double dip. And so we need to treat people, and we have a lot of experience with the projects with the Farm Museum, the Sale Barn, the historic, where we know how to do this. So it is a very good question, and we took that first meeting or second meeting, we allocated a lot of these decisions right from the very beginning because we knew from the experiences of the projects where you can get into trouble.
Second meeting.
Second meeting. Very early.
Right, so.
Okay. Anything?
I very much appreciate the update.
And again, my main message to you is thank you. When you created this partnership in December, you created an army of the community behind you.
Sounds like you guys are doing the work, so.
Well, thank you for letting us. Okay.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you.
You guys aren't gonna vote or anything on this?
There doesn't seem to be anything that needed to be voted on.
Just an update?
That was,
I'll speak at the 3 minutes, at the end.
okay.
No, I will go now, and then I can cut it out, okay?
So, these are a bunch of great guys, and it's a great committee. But I've argued from the beginning that it's not that complicated. I have a print here that was dated in September of 24. We're in September of 25. Now, I don't know what the committee, I've left the committee, and I don't know what they are doing now for the $40, $50, $60, $70,000. I've broken down the packet for you that there are 4 things that I think should be done. 1, the albatross should be removed from the gazebo. John Harrington mentioned that in his very first committee meeting. The wire should be run underground. There are some wires that are coming out of the concrete that should be addressed. And the steps need repaired or replaced. None of that's complicated. You do have contractors, local contractors, that either want to donate their services or do different things that they can help. In my opinion, this is not a community funding project. The community gets hit a lot to fund this project, to fund this project, and fund this project. We have a Troy community pool that is in desperate need of major upgrades. We have a Troy Community Hospital going through $100,000 fundraiser now to improve the lives of people. I've shown you how little this could cost. And I would ask that you seriously consider those and take action. You have a lot of qualified people over there on that bench, a lot of volunteers that do work for the community. I know they have electricians in their group. They can make a Saturday afternoon project and come down and bury that line and be done. They could touch up the other. They have concrete people. It does not have to be, in my opinion, a $40, $50, $60, $70,000 project. You will feel foolish if you spend that much money on it. Again, I don't know what all they're going to try to accomplish. Could be more than the 4 things that I mentioned. but you should really consider how much it goes to the public. John, I know that you're concerned with spending money. You have $15,000 from the commissioners, which is a matching grant. You have the additional funds in your budget. Consider it retroactive payment for it not being maintained for 2 or 3 decades. The borough has to maintain their properties. They have a responsibility to reinvest in their properties. The borough farm, many other things. That's what should happen. That's it. I think I did that pretty quick.
So, Tommy, I'd like to comment real quick on a few of your statements there.
For me?
Yes.
Okay.
So, you know, the community obviously is behind this. I mean, we just heard of the funds that they've already generated for this project, right? You know, you talked about the steps. I don't remember exactly what you called them, other than ugly is the term that comes back in my mind. But you know, if the steps.
Well, I called the ramp an albatross.
Okay.
The steps are just in poor repair that shouldn't have been gotten that long.
Well, from my understanding, the steps or the ramp is still 100% usable, and what we're getting from the committee is that it only needs replaced because it's in the way. All right.
Because
other than that, it's usable, correct?
Yeah, it is.
So, you know, in my mind, like you said, I'm worried about the community's money. So, other than it not being aesthetically pleasing, there's nothing wrong with the ramp. I think that's what I heard.
Just needs treated and a little touch up.
Right, okay. So, you know, concrete, you know, for you to stand up there and blame the borough for its demise and say
Whoa, blame the borough for, I'm talking about the whole of the, if you walk around and look at the blocks and everything else, yes.
Correct, so.
Yes, I'm not talking about the demise of the handicap ramp.
Okay, so.
The demise of the steps.
Steps. Anybody that's familiar with concrete knows rainwater deteriorates steps. There's nothing you can do to stay ahead of that. You fix it when it breaks. The foundation being broke, it's unavoidable. You fix it after it breaks. I mean, there's nothing you can do to avoid these things. So to say that we need to go, you know, retroactive for lack of upkeep is kind of a slap in the face to the people sitting at this table right here. As far as, and I'll speak for me. You know, I feel as though that was an unfair statement, first of all. And second of all, if they're willing to do all of the legwork, I kind of feel at this point that, you know, your ideas that you're trying to push here are just because you're not in line with what they want to do.
No, I just want to get it done, John.
I understand that.
No, I just want to get it done.
There's a reason for you wanting to get it done by a certain timeline, which we won't talk about here, but they have a goal, correct? I mean, that's what I heard. They have a plan in place to get it done by a certain time. And for people's personal use or anything that they might want to have set up between now and that period is either A, going to have to be put off, or B, it's going to have to be utilized the way it is, which is the yellow ribbon around the steps because the steps are not usable, correct? You know, I just feel like this project going forward from what I'm hearing from this group over here, but now we've got somebody else that wants us to look at a second avenue. And I'm not saying that it's a waste of the borough's time or the community's time to hear all this. I'm just saying that maybe you, and this is just a suggestion from me, maybe you should have stayed on the committee and worked with them to achieve the very similar goal, okay? Because I understand exactly what you're doing. Whether you believe it or not, I understand exactly what you're doing. But I feel like they started this project and they need to follow through with it. And if you have better ideas or suggestions for them to improve or keep costs down, I would beg of you to share them with them. And I really just feel like this is...
Well, I just gave them a few so that they could get their members to do some volunteer work.
Well, I understand. You're volunteering their people to work for us or work for the community. So, I mean, I feel like you guys need to come together on this and come up with a solid plan that meets everybody's needs. It's obviously not going to get done this year, right? So we're not going to patch it. We're not going to have, at least it won't get my vote. We're not going to have the borough employees working on it. We have several other things that need to be taken care of. So that's my stance on this, all right? And that's just my personal opinion. That doesn't involve everybody else. I'm not speaking for anybody at this table other than me.
I got a couple of questions, Charlie. You sent an email to me. That plan was done in 2024, correct?
Yeah.
Nowhere on that blueprint do I see a PE stamp.
No, you could have. It can be turned into one. We talked about that last year.
By a professional engineer?
Yes.
Okay. Because the one right there is unacceptable for us.
No, I understand that. And it's of wood.
Second one
And it's of
here,
wood.
second question. That was completed September 29th of last year.
Okay.
Am I reading your email correct? You and, I'm assuming Dan Close met the 5th of this year?
No, last year.
Okay.
Did I put the wrong date in?
Yeah, you did. Because I was going to have some serious issue with no borough employees meeting.
No. Dan and I met with the code person.
Who was that individual?
It was William, I can give you his name.
Okay.
The code from Code Inc.
Yeah, well, they've got several.
Okay, so we met with him, showed him the prints. He had no problem with the ramp, the location, or anything else. The only thing he mentioned during that meeting is at that time we were talking about moving the steps. If we move the steps, he asked about a rail. Danny asked, well, this is historical. He said, if I get a letter from the Historical Society, then you don't need a rail. But that's all here and there.
And where was the 26,000 estimated funding coming from in your plan?
15,000 from the commissioners, and you should have matching funds. Danny, in one of the meetings, mentioned that the Case Foundation could be a source, and you guys could add too.
Anything further, John?
No, I'm good.
Anybody else have anything? Okay. Thank you, Charlie.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, we do have a request from the chamber about the Halloween parade on Saturday, November 1st, from 6 p.m. to finish with a 5 p.m. setup and judging. Zach Gates will be the parade boss again this year. And yeah, did you guys get this in your packet as well?
Yep.
So I need a motion to allow for the permit to do the parade.
Move we grant the permit, Timothy Bruce.
One second. Did you see Wayne's comment in response to that? Something about the red light?
I
just gonna bring that up.
I say I didn't.
They have it turning left and they should be turning right.
Okay, so let me see if I can find that on here.
I just didn't know if that needed to be
It's on the
corrected.
second paragraph down.
Second paragraph down, parade leave, turn left. Okay, so with that change to turning right at the light instead of left at the light.
Sure, we accept that amendment.
Okay, so that is Tim for first. Do I have a second?
Second.
John. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, moved. All right. Second request is the Pierce Library. The Pierce Library has received a grant to make the library more ADA compliant and will be doing some work in accordance with that. Additionally, if monies are left over, they'd like to put up a sign for the library with ADA accessibility on it. I don't know if
I'll motion to accept it.
Okay.
Second it.
All right, John and John. Any further discussion?
Just that.
Is that Borough
Where's
property?
exactly is the sign going to be posted?
That I was thinking that we may need to see more information if they have the funds to be able to put the sign up that they would like to put up a design, a location. I don't have any information on that more
Because
than,
the sign is gonna have to meet any siding ordinance in
Correct.
borough ordinances.
so,
It has to have a setback for the state.
Yep. So they're gonna have to present
so
probably,
pending on the design and
they're gonna have
location.
Drawings, they're gonna have to submit drawings.
Design and, just so I can, location.
It's on the building, it's not an issue.
All right, okay, so we'll table that. Financials, everybody got that in their packet? Need a motion to accept the financials, we can just, financials and bills paid.
Move we accept the bills as properly paid.
Second.
Tim and John Rob, Tim, John Rob. All right, water sewer report. Nick, I think that's you.
I don't have them.
You don't have them? Okay, let me see what I have. Manager's report. All right, let's see, he didn't really,
He gave all his reports.
Yes, you have a manager's report in the,
yeah, I'm just looking for the section for the sewer water.
Thank you guys for coming.
Yes, thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
The second round of water samples from 10 selected homes have been sent to PACE. DEP identified the category of the homes to select. Awaiting results, we will receive them and go from there. That's the report I have from Rod.
Yes.
That's jives with what you have, Nick?
Yep.
Okay. So nothing to vote on there because it was just an update. Personnel committee report. Tim, that's you. You're president of that committee, right? Your chair?
yes.
Thank you.
Had that page open here.
Hold on, I'll have it for you in just a second. I have it printed out. Is that what you had?
Oh, yes, that's a wonderful thing right there.
You're welcome.
We met, Wayne Pratt, myself, and Rod Manning, a borough manager, met on the 15th and the 16th this month. On the 15th, we met with 2 candidates. On the 16th, we met with 1 candidate. Those were the 3 candidates we all agreed were the most promising. The 3 candidates were all asked the same questions based on job description advertised, and answers were scored independently. Scores were then tallied, and an average was created. You should note all 3 candidates did score well. The first and the second were separated by a very small margin. This necessitated discussion and further review of the resumes. A selection was made, and pending approval by the Borough Council, the position will be filled on the 29th. Subsequently, all candidates will receive correspondence thanking them for their application and notifying them if they've been offered the appointment or we decline. Starting salary is to be $20.50 per hour. Upon successful completion of a 90-day probationary period, a bump in pay of $1.50 rate increase will occur. Additionally, the new hire will be placed in the borough medical plan. Vacation, holidays, and personal time will be consistent with current borough practices. At the time, the Personnel Committee puts forth for Council vote Kim Jatola as our new administrative unit.
Okay.
As chair of this committee, I make the motion that we offer this position to Kim Jatola and begin her in processing as soon as convenient.
Tim, do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, John Rob, do we have any further discussion? Anything, fellas?
No, I think, you have any comment on it, or we just?
No, I was trying to listen to him and I couldn't follow what was on paper.
Well, we interviewed 3, 2 were very close, but ultimately we decided with Mrs. Jatola.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Let's see here, that is here, that's done. Police report, Chief, do you want to give the police report?
I'll refer him to second.
Oh, sorry, Mike.
Just want to get people public and know that for the 3rd consecutive month, I have been notified by several business owners and residents that the chief continues to grow in relationship with the borough. And, I'd say the first time in about 4 or 5 years that I can make yourself more and more visual, something that's been lacking in this borough for several years. And also, for the first time, we have I think this is the 15th year, the borough has sure much really the short town cruisers, and it's a very successful program. And the borough has been every single year. This year, the chief was gracious enough to put the patrol car in the midst of the moment, opening up to the public, and especially the youth. A lot of the kids came in, they never even saw a police car except from a distance, for one part. The kids actually came in, started talking to the chief, started asking different things about the automobile itself. So it's good, it's encouraging, and I hope it continues to have that continuity between the police department and the camaraderie between the relationship between the PD and the borough. It's warming, it's welcoming, and it's very, very good to have that positive attitude, which was lacking for several months in the borough. As mayor, I think I can say, I'm enjoying my job again. And I'd like to thank council for changing the meeting so I can attend the meeting. Just for information to the people, you know, I run the radio station, you know, I drive school bus, and at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I can never make a council meeting. Plus, I was absent from many meetings, it was touch and go quite a bit, but I'm glad it's over with, it's been resolved, and I'm very, very satisfied. I'd like to report to our chief now for the incident of an accident that took place in the
So we had a tractor trailer was trying to make a turn up on the railroad street. The construction was going on there, so the road was kind of blocked off. So he had to back up and reposition. At that point in time, he took out one of the light poles that had just been replaced. So I got his information, his insurance information, so a police report was up on that, so we could go back after his insurance.
Was he cited for that?
He was not cited. It was on the blind side of the trucks, I think. Just with the construction, the barricade.
No, I know. You know my line of work
I
where
know.
that stuff becomes accountability.
Thank you for your discretion, chief.
So, with the Halloween parade, I did get an email from NDOT. They're gonna be doing a resurfacing project around that time, Route 6 and 14. She said just let her go, get the application in as soon as we can. That way she can make sure there's no trucks, no vehicles. No, we're going out in that area where we need to do the Halloween parade.
Did they say where on 6 and 14?
She just told me 6 and 14. We reserved the project for that.
Resurfacing project, ASAP. So, thank you, chief. Thank you, mayor.
That's all I have, Mr. President.
All right, anybody have any comment on anything else with the police report or anything? Okay.
Do you have a number from the barracks on how many calls they respond to?
Yes, it was 8 calls.
That's the one they actually responded to, or that's the one?
They responded to this incident here, Friday ago, happened in the bandstand. It happened about 4 o'clock, and I left at 3:30. I did call on it, it was between the individual. Basically, the son got shot by one of those gel guns. State police are handling that issue, but there was another girl. I got home Friday night, I'm seeing the videos going, really. So, the one female that was on there, she is being dealt with, she decided. So, it's a juvenile issue, so it was taken care of as far as my end of that part of it there. I'm not gonna deal with it, but they're not there.
Thank you.
Thanks, chief.
All right. Any other old business?
Have you gotten everything that we discussed in the last meeting?
I just talked to Doug Freeman, the AR is done, so I can meet up with him tomorrow and get that everything cleared up. Besides that, yeah.
Slim Jim? all that stuff?
Yep, I got the
Okay.
entry kit come, radio's working good, charging's working good.
Did you get a personal printer for your office? Or?
No, we have a new printer coming, and I'm gonna be getting a printer from the office up to where I'm at now.
Back to public comment. Anybody? Oh, Jack is left. Aaron? Charlie? Okay. I guess that's, anybody else have anything else? I'm sorry.
Tina, did you want to speak?
Oh, no, I'll keep my thoughts to myself right now.
Oh, come on.
No, that's okay.
Okay.
The only thing I would,
If you all want to talk after adjournment, then we can talk.
Okay. I'd like to, I actually talked with the chief this week after seeing some social media posts about a ill or injured animal. He had contacted the game commission. They gave him permission to go up and dispatch it. They were not going to send somebody out for whatever reason. After discussing with him, we both come to the agreement that his service weapons were not the ideal format in the middle of town to discharge that. I don't know, Mike, you guys want to talk to the safety committee, but I think we ought to look at purchasing a small bore rifle for those incidents. It's not going to be uncommon. We live in a rural area, road hit deer. Let's face it, in the middle of town is not the most ideal spot for discharging an AR or a 9mm handgun. So I think that's something we should look at. It's going to lessen the noise, lessen any chance of negligent trajectory.
I think it's right, and I was standing back pretty good, I told myself, I didn't break the board home, listen to you. And it didn't help us right behind the elementary school up on the bank, so all the kids would get like standing in the window, so.
But no, thanks for,
Okay.
thanks for going through the process and doing the due diligence.
When was this?
Tuesday? Wednesday? Monday?
Tuesday.
Tuesday?
That was Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was here Monday.
Are you working on the grant for the patrol car? There's Rob.
I think Rod is.
I know Rob got into the LSA grant.
And I'm trying to get a meeting set up, I know really county grant writers and stuff, they're real busy with the solar grants going on. So she kind of, I talked to Doug McCain, going like, by all means, we need help, there's some grants real, with our grant writers.
Perfect. Anybody else got anything else? All right. Got a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So adjourned.